Yo, what it do, tube? This is your boy, Steel City DFS. I'm coming to you today for a video, basically giving a update on my life situation, and I figured I'd give it to you on the 1 year anniversary of the passing of my best friend in this entire world, other than my son. So for those that know me, I was raised by a single parent. That'd be my mother for the majority of my life. My mother, was a nursing aide, did home health care, and for most of my young life, my father was not around. He would come around here and there. He was a Vietnam vet that was going through some hard times, but he would be here and there, and but for the most part, my mother raised me alone. She kept me very secluded and very safe and very sheltered, which I greatly appreciate. But with being very sheltered, it did not allow me to go out and get my head beat up a little bit by the outside world. So in a way, it's a blessing because I was kept very safe. Had no worries in the world. But at the same time, it didn't allow me to go see, what was happening outside the home walls, which, is difficult because you don't learn the things that you need to learn, and stuff like that. So this video is just going to be real. This video is going to be honest. This is not DFS related. This is just a life update because I've been having a very difficult time dealing with her loss. So those that know me, I do run basically a 9 to 5, a full-time job. I am the very proud father of my beautiful son Eli. Just turned 8. Without him, I don't know where I'd be at because I don't have the other piece that keeps me going. And that will be my mother. As you can see, she passed away 1 year ago today, which was during COVID. I posted stories about this. The last time that I had seen her physically happy and in person was on March 2nd, which was her 71st birthday at the nursing facility that she was at because we were trying to find a home for her because she was misplaced due to an apartment fire the year prior to that. So we were trying to find a place for her to stay at. And I went to go see her on her birthday, and we had such a blast. She even put on makeup and was looking really pretty and put on her eyelashes because, she was starting to feel a little bit more happier and alive. So we had pizza that day. One of the nurses made a cake for him. We shared the cake, and it was just one of the greatest days of my entire life. But unfortunately, COVID came, shut everything down, and I was unable to see her. And then with COVID coming and fear of the unknown, I went into a deep state of depression, which I still am living with today, even though I've been fully vaccinated, and I am not as worried as I was going into the pandemic. But that was the last time I seen her. And then on June 26th, which was my son's 7th birthday, that's when I got the call that rocked my world. She had went into a cardiac arrest, and basically they were able to resuscitate her and rush her to the hospital. So that was the first time in almost 4 months that I was physically able to see her. Again, I'm shooting straight forward. This is not DFS related. This is not gambling related. This is life related. I was now in charge of figuring out what to do, waiting on tests, waiting on a prognosis that you hope is good news, but unfortunately the prognosis was very grim, and basically almost 3 weeks later came up to the decision to just let her choose her path and choose her destiny. And unfortunately, due to the injuries that she had sustained, and then other things on top of that, she unfortunately passed away at the age of 71. Again, that has rocked my core. My mother was everything that you could hope for as a parent, and especially a single parent. She was hardworking. She was liked very well in the community. She was very respected. I had a ton of respect for her, just being the person that she was and what she did while she was here, taking care of me, keeping me safe, keeping me loved, and things of that nature. Again, this is going to be as real as it gets, because I want people to see when I set up the Gofundme. I know that a lot of people in the community thought, oh, this is a guy that can't control his gambling and is using a scapegoat. That's not the case. Again, I am a hardworking parent, a 9-to-5 parent, but I would not use money that I cannot afford. And that's the one thing I know about me, is that if I can't do what I'm supposed to do, I'm not going to put sports betting, gambling, DFS on top of my priorities. That is the one thing I can honestly say that I would never do, and I'm not going to do. I can go weeks and days and months without gambling and playing DFS and stuff like that. But this was my dream. Even as a little kid, collecting baseball cards and looking at the stats on the back, and always digging into numbers, trying to figure out how to calculate a batting average or an ERA or a save percentage or stuff like that. I've always been one to like the numbers and the analytics behind the sports, which is why I started trying to provide DFS content over this past year. I felt like I owed it to my mother, because my mother would have wanted me to chase my dreams, and try to make better of myself, so that I'm able to provide for my son without the daily struggles of having to go to work and busting my ass to nickels and dimes and quarters and pennies and stuff like that. But also during these trying times, I have had to take time away from work, because I couldn't deal with the fact that my mother wasn't here. And don't get me wrong, I know I'm a very strong person, but it's human nature to have breakdowns when you lose your loved ones and any member of your close family. But obviously, when you lose someone as close as your mother or your father, it's going to take a different toll than losing a cousin or an aunt or uncle or something like that. Someone that's raised you and has been there for you your entire life. It hurts so much so that I had to take about 6 weeks away from my job, just because I can't take care of others if I don't take care of myself first, and that's from a physical perspective as well as a mental perspective. With COVID and the loss of my mother, I tried to seek professional help, but due to the pandemic, there wasn't a lot of mental health outlets that I could take advantage of. I felt like I needed a psychiatrist. Still haven't found one. And we're well into a year into this pandemic. Also a year again since the passing of my mother. But I had to take some time away from work because I had to try and get myself together. And unfortunately, during that time, bills had started to pile up. I thought that I could manage everything, but unfortunately, I was unsuccessful. During that time, actually, recently, I received 2 utility shut-off notices, basically for both my utilities. And then I also fell behind on my rent. And unfortunately, where I live at, I don't have a lease because the landlord wanted to try and keep everything just like month to month instead of signing a lease, which I totally understand for whatever reason. But I've had some difficulties and also trying to figure out what's my next move. I want a safe environment for my son to be able to come over. And spend time with me and have fun and stuff like that. So it has been a very difficult timing for me as far as trying to stay up on everything and going to work and being able to provide for my son. But it's, I don't know what I'm going to do. I am close to being homeless now, just because I've fallen behind. And I know that there's programs out there, but due to the pandemic, I feel, I'm basically on a wait and see approach, which does not work well for me because I could be kicked out and put on the streets, and then and that's just something I don't want to do. So basically this update is to let everyone know that I'm going to probably be taking some time away from DFS because I need to get myself together and trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But I will be back at some point. Like I said, the love of analytics and number diving and looking into numbers and researching and finding out, it's a one game at Wrigley Field, who to stack and the isolated number or the isolated power numbers and WOBA and all that stuff that fuels me. It's my dream, and eventually I will be back, but I think that I need to take some time away to try and reassess some things. Things that I used to have aren't there right now. My income tax is currently being held up for whatever reason. The child tax credit that's supposed to be coming, I'm not going to receive until the income tax situation is settled. So things that I used to have as a crutch in the past are not going to be there this year. So that makes it even doubly harder to try and make ends meet. But again, like I said, I will be back. I just have to figure out how I'm going to make things work so that first and foremost, my son has a safe and stable place to lay his head when he's here with me. Again, my son is the reason why I grind every day. He's the reason why I want to be able to provide good to great DFS content, because, like I said, that's my dream, and I want to chase my dream, especially while I'm here, so that, my son is taken care of and we can go on vacations and do the stuff that a father and a son should be doing. So again, just want to take some time to step away, but I wanted to get this video out there to those that have befriended me in the community. I want to give a special shout out to my friends on Twitter, the few friends that have reached out to me, have helped me financially, spiritually, mentally. I want to give a big shout out to my sis, Lori Bibbs. I appreciate everything that you've done for me over this past year and a half. You are my industrial sister. I really appreciate everything that you've done for me to help me to be there to take care of my son. I want to give another shout out to Savage Strikes on Twitter. He's a parent too, and he was able to help me out a little bit financially, even though I know times are tough for everyone. Another shout out to Wolf Picks, and forgive me if I am not knowing your Twitter handles off the top of my head. But Wolf has helped me out as well tremendously. There was a time that I needed to pick up my son and bring him to my home, but I didn't have the means to get him, and he looked out. And for that, I am truly and forever grateful, because if you are helping me to get my son from point A to point B safely, that means I have the utmost respect for you, and I roll with you heavily. My girl, Kristen Cook, she's also my industrial sister. She's definitely also been there for me, like a sister. There's a few other people that, they know who they are, as far as just reaching out to me, seeing if I'm okay. My boy Yoshi, Bets by Yoshi. There's a few that looked out for me, but all in all, I think as people, we need to show some love for your fellow man, especially when times are tough, and you don't have anybody else to turn to. I don't have any more family. It's basically just me and my son. I co-parent, with his mother, and I have them as well. But on my side, it's just basically just me, and I'm out here just doing my thing and trying to make things happen. But I can't take care of my son without taking care of myself first. So again, thank you to those that have looked out for me, helped me financially, spiritually, just been there for me to talk to, and things of that nature. Oh, and my boy Graham Hall, I do appreciate you as well, brother. I see you on Twitter, and you post messages